Well, I'm very pleased to second the motion by the member for Clark, and I support his motion wholeheartedly. South Australia is famous around the world for our wine, and in my electorate of Mayo, I have 6 wine regions that have become an integral part of our economic prosperity and tourism experience. We all recognise the importance of the wine sector in regional Australia and the significance of the industry that it has on our international reputation for producing outstanding products. In recent years, we have witnessed the development of craft breweries and distilleries. A decade ago, we did not have a single commercial distillery in Mayo. Today, more than a dozen craft distilleries operate and, like their wine cousins, are among some of the best in the world, producing some of the finest craft gin and whisky on offer. As the member for Clark advised, this rapidly expanding sector now comprises of more than 300 locally owned distilleries across Australia, supporting more than 5,000 direct jobs and a further 15,000 indirect jobs. This growth has occurred despite the inequitable application of the spirits excise, causing unnecessary financial burdens on hard-working Australians. It is simply absurd that our spirits distillers are subjected to the 3rd highest spirits tax in the world, taxed 4 times more than wine and cider producers and double that of brewers in Australia. Ironically, according to independent modelling, the government has an excise rate that is now so high that it collects less revenue than if the rate was lowered. It is absurd. The current situation is an opportunity loss. It is a revenue loss for government, an increased employment loss, and an export opportunity loss. Demand for spirits is growing globally, and markets within our region are expected to grow substantially. We have distillers that are producing international award-winning gins, whiskies and rums. However, we are only exporting $4 per capita compared to $171 per capita if you're in Ireland, $85 in Estonia, $70 in Sweden, and our nearest neighbour New Zealand at $11 per capita. So the potential for Australian distilled spirits sector is enormous. It has the prospect to share a similar success to that of our wine industry, and we know how important the growth of the wine industry has been over the decades for Australia. It's helped enormously in the regions. On a final note, many craft distillers have told me that while they employ people in their enterprise, they often themselves have a second job because the excise tax makes it so difficult to be viable. However, they persist because they are passionate. And it's not hard to see in my electorate when I go and visit many of my distilleries and take home a bottle of gin from here and there, never drink and drive. But when I go and see them, they are so passionate about the craft that they create, and it's so incredibly disappointing that we keep taxing the lifeblood out of them. And I support the member for Clark in his call to cut the spirits excise to the brandy rate and a freeze in the spirits and brandy CPI indexation for 3 years, and the increase in the current excise funding scheme for craft distillers from $100,000 to $300,000 for 2 years. I bet you most people don't realise that when they go to a winery and the winery, the cellar door pours them a sample, that is excise free. There is no tax paid on that for the producer. However, you go to a gin distillery door and they need to pay excise on that small taste that you have, bottle after bottle, and it is costing them a fortune just to keep the doors open. And I really think that we can do much better for our distilleries in this place simply by having a fairer tax regime for them. I want to see more distilleries in my electorate. I particularly love it because it's a business that a lot of young people have moved into. But we are taxing the lifeblood out of this industry, and this industry will not flourish. I mean, the government says it's a government for low taxes and believes that by lowering taxes we stimulate the economy. Well, this is a prime example. Thank you.